Hello everyone and welcome back. It's been a while since I posted a video and I'm super excited to kind of show you guys the state of FOE. Like, where is it at? In the Discord, we've been posting for a very long time, giving updates with text and images, everything that's kind of going on, but I want to actually turn on the game and run it so you guys can see how it looks and kind of where we're sitting. I do want to give a reminder, this is very, very, very early of game development. It is technically playable at this point. We are getting ready to do a beta test to test a lot of the basic features of the game, but majority of what you see is most likely going to change, at least visually. Most of the coding for the project is done, but a lot of the artwork, pacing of the game, stats of heroes, stats of troops, stats of gears, a lot of this is going to change over these next few months as we kind of figure out how we want everything to run, right? Because I don't want the game to be too grindy, but I also don't want it to be too quick. So we need to find kind of a nice pace of the game. But today I'm pretty much just going to run the game, show you where it's at. And yeah, I mean, like I said, we're getting really close to beta. I'm super excited. We've been working on this for a while. And soon you guys will be able to get to try this out for yourselves. So let's go ahead and take a peek with where we are at here. So let's get it going. All right, so this is what your main menu looks like right now. I mean, it's pretty simple. You got your login with email password. Here you can register for an account. You'd put in your username, your email, and your password, and then you would just create an account and select the server that you want to join. Now, in this case, we already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in at one@gmail.com. And I'm just going to do the same thing for the password. We're going to go ahead and log into server 1. And this is what your main city looks like. Now, this is most likely going to see a lot of improvements with UI, so expect this to change dramatically. This is a bit of a placeholder until I can kind of get an artist in here or myself come in to kind of redo a lot of the artwork, but it should be kind of similar once we get everything up and going. Now, how does your main city work? Well, you have 5 main buildings at the current moment. You have your castle, you have your university. This is where you can research new technologies to empower your university, or sorry, to empower your city, your troops, your heroes, etc. This is your barracks. This is where you will train majority of your troops. Once Titans come into the game, which I won't talk about yet, but you'll be able to manage Titans in here as well. Here's the troop training panel, so you can kind of get an idea of what all of the troops look like. Inside of your panel, you can see how many troops you have owned down here with the little helmet. So there's 4,000 tier 1 troops in my account. You can individually add troops to train. You can max out, which will pretty much make as many as it can based on your free space or based on your resources. The training system's actually working here, so you can just see that I trained 3,600 tier 1 troops. It's going to take about an hour. And yeah, I mean, as you level up your barracks, you also unlock more powerful troops, which is really, really cool. You're able to see your stats of the troops, the name, a little biography, which I will be adding soon, because all the troops, right now, they're just kind of named like Troop 1, Troop 2, Troop 3. But like I said, super early beta. A lot of the stats will change, the names will change, the biographies will change, blah, 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 blah. And you can also see what troop this troop is strong against. So for example, for Troop 1, it could be strong against Tier 1, Tier 3, Tier 5, Tier 8. Right now it says it's strong against all tiers just because I haven't set up that functionality. Again, super early beta testing, but you will be able to see what your troop is actually good at fighting against, which I think is really cool. Now, moving past the barracks, you have the Hero Tavern. In your Hero Tavern, this is where you can actually manage your hero gear, manage your heroes, level up your heroes, upgrade your hero gear, craft hero gear, put gear on your heroes, and etc. So if we actually open up our heroes here, you can see a list of all the owned heroes that we have. You can click on a hero to actually purchase a hero, which is done using hero tomes. And so if we take a look at our first hero that we own here, this is kind of what the panel looks like. Pretty straightforward. At the top, you have the ability to level up your hero. It takes tomes and hero essence. You can get tomes and essence from doing trials, from beating monsters on the map, from doing server events that will be coming out. So that's kind of the system on how you level up your hero. Here you actually have your hero gear. So this is our helmet slot, and you can see all of the gears that you actually have unlocked. So I'm going to put on the first helmet on the hero, and you can see its stats. So he's going to gain 8 attack, 24 health, and 700 march. All this is working perfectly. This entire panel is, I mean, pretty much flawless. Everything works the way it should. The only thing that's not set up is here where it says hero gear, and you can see attack plus 9,000, health, march. That'll just show you all of your gear added up together. I just haven't connected everything into it, but yeah, that's pretty much all working as it should. You can switch your chest plates around. Yeah, pretty cool. So these are where you get all of your different gears. You can also unequip gears. Pretty straightforward. Now over here, this is hero gems. And this is something I'm really excited about. So hero gems allow you to take a hero and customize it to be better at something it's not good at. So for example, let's say you have a hero that has a really high base attack stat. Okay, so if we take a look at our hero, for example, and if you go to the panel here where it says attack, health, in March, if you see attack, it has 58 in red. That is your current attack with all your gear and gems and everything applied. And the grayed out text that's under it, that is your base attack. So this hero has a base attack of 22 and a base health of 20. So naturally, this hero is going to be a more offensive hero than it is going to be a defensive hero. Gems allow you to change this. So gems will allow you to actually be able to buff specific stats instead of all of your stats, just specific stats, so that you can increase his health and make him more of a defensive hero, right? So this is really cool because the gear is kind of preset. You just kind of unlock better gears and it is the way it is. You're just always going to use the best gear you have. But your gems, you're going to be able to take your hero and modify him so he can be good in very many different situations. One thing I didn't like about majority of games that I played is like, I have this hero, he's sick, I love how he looks, but he just sucks, right? Maybe he's only an offensive hero. I can't use him in defensive situations. I can't use him in mixed situations. He's only really good in very niche situations. So this will give you the opportunity to allow your hero to be a little bit more dynamic so he can fill different roles. But yeah, I mean, that's the hero panel summed up. Pretty sick stuff. Here is crafting the hero gear. Pretty straightforward. You can just click on if you want to craft helmets or chest plates, pants, boots, weapons. So for example, let's say we want to unlock this cool sword here. You'll be able to use your gold and also hero fragments, okay? Now it's kind of hard to see, but in this little panel here where it says tier 7 weapon and it's locked, you can actually see a slide bar and it'll show you how much fragments you have. So currently we have 5,000 tier 7 fragments. So if we go ahead and craft it, it is going to unlock that weapon for us. So now if we go over to our hero and we're going to change him off of the crossbow, we can now put the new sword that we unlocked on him. Pretty sick stuff, right? And in terms of in upgrading your gear, the panel looks very similar. Same type of thing where you're going to scroll down, find the gear that you want to upgrade. So in this case, let's look at the helmet, and it requires fragments, it requires ingots, and it requires gold. And you can go ahead and upgrade it here to increase the stats of your helmet. So that's pretty much how that system works. Pretty straightforward. This is your supply center. Now your supply center is where you can make resources in your city and also exchange resources for other resources. Super important building. Don't neglect this building, especially with the exchange. It's going to be pretty much the most important thing you use when you're trying to mass train troops or work towards upgrades. So the production panel looks pretty basic and boring. Pretty much you have food, wood, stone, gold. This panel is going to become much better in the future. I have a really cool plan for this on how to make resource collection a little bit cooler. But every second you're playing, you can pretty much build up a supply of resources. You click the collect button and it all gets added to your inventory. So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And here is your exchange panel. So how does exchange work in this game? Also pretty simple. You would put in, for example, 1,000 gold, and you could exchange your 1,000 gold for food, wood, or stone. Again, you guys can see this panel is not fully set up. It kind of needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but the functionality of it is working. Right now we have 9,000 wood, and if I exchange 1,000 gold, I can get another 4,000 wood, and that puts me at 13K. So panel's working, UI needs to get cleaned up, but other than that, pretty sick. This is going to be super, super important. Especially when you go to your university, there is a research called Jones effect, and Jones effects, when you research it, gives you more resources for the gold you're exchanging. So if 1 gold normally gives you 4 wood and you level this up, 1 gold could give you 5 wood. And if you level it up again, 1 gold can give you 6 wood. It's going to become super, super, super important. So you want to work on your Jones effect skill. All right, what else we got going on here? So let's take a look at the world map. So this is the world map of the game. It looks very, very ugly. This is not final state at all. I actually worked on hand painting these grass tiles. I want to improve them a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, this is just a basic template for now. Here we actually have the players registered on the map. So we signed in at one@gmail.com and you can go ahead and you can teleport your city to different locations on the map. And over here, this is another player that is on the server. So what you can do on the world map is right now, scouting is not actually set up yet, but you will be able to scout a player to see what heroes on their wall, what troops they have, and what resources they have. But you can actually go ahead and attack a player, and it'll pull up this panel here. So you can see all of the heroes that you have, eventually Titans down here at the bottom, which is going to be really sick. I don't want to spoil that yet. But with the heroes, you'll be able to just select whatever hero you want to send into battle, and then you have your troop panel on the side here. So we only have tier 1 troops. I got about 4,000 of them, so I can type in 500 troops, and it'll actually show you what your total attack, health, load, power, your capacity, everything that you need before you actually send the march, so you can clearly understand how much damage your march is going to do, and then you can go ahead and actually send the attack. Now, as the attack is going, you have your march slots here at the top left. Again, super basic, but they're working. You can see March 1 is currently going to 2@gmail.com. Right now for beta testing, all the marches take 30 seconds, so it's going to be pretty fast. But over time, it'll be the farther you are away by tiles, the longer the march will be. So pretty straightforward. But yeah, so that attack is going to hit. Once that hits, we can actually get into the mail section here, and you can see your battle reports. So I've been doing all kinds of tests, so I have a lot of, whoops, I think we just sent that too far away. Let's go ahead and reopen, because that is something I still need to fix also. But we have a lot of battle reports. I've been testing all kinds of different combinations and just obviously making sure that all of the battle systems itself actually works properly. Sign back in here. And in the battle reports, you can see our new attack that we just did. So we sent our hero 5. It shows your total attack and health that was kind of sent into the battle versus the players as well. So pretty cool stuff. I mean, we sent 500 troops. They got slaughtered because the enemy had 73,000 troops. So we did 16,000 attack and we had 41,000 health, and the opponent had 2.3 million attack and 6.7 million health. This panel is going to change dramatically also. I don't expect this panel to look like this. I'm trying to fix this before I put out the beta. I just want it to look better. I want it to look cleaner, a little bit more simple. And yeah, but I mean, this is generally how the panel is going to look. So pretty cool stuff. You will also have battle reports for fighting camps. So camps are very important. You're going to be spending a lot of time fighting camps, and they look like this. Camps are pretty much just these encampments of creatures, and when you kill them, you get gold. All right? They have no heroes. It's just troops. You'll be able to scout these as well to see what troops are in the camp. And like I said, you will take that gold to then exchange for other resources, which you will need to train troops. In this game, you're going to be spending a lot of times killing troops and training troops. There's going to be a lot of fighting. I hate games where they don't have fighting. I want to fight. I don't want to have my army get wiped out and it takes 9 months to make an army. Ideally, I want to pace the game so within about a week you could fully build an army if you were wiped out, or at least build a pretty significant army so you can stay in the fight. I want to have a lot of events. I want to have weekly events. I want to have people scrapping all the time, people beefing. So yeah, attacking camps is going to be very important. There's different level camps on the map. Once you actually attack a camp, it'll teleport to a different part of the maps. They're not static. They do move around. Eventually, I might create like static camps so alliances can position around an area of camps because it's going to be easier to hit them and it's going to be a more resource-rich area. But I just felt like that kind of changed the pacing of the game a little bit for weaker players that can't build by the camps. But we got another player over here too. But yeah, you kind of get the point of how all of that works. What else we got here? So the world chat system, I mean, this is pretty simple. Right now we just have a global world chat, so you can actually write in the chat, and that's fully functioning and working, which is cool. I don't have it set up to the world map yet, but I will be plugging that in very shortly. It's a quick fix. Trials. This I started working on today. So what is trials? Well, you attack camps to get gold, right? And you use the gold to train troops and obviously upgrade buildings. So that's very, very important. Now, for your heroes, you need to level them up. You need to get essence, you need to get tomes. For gear, you need to get fragments, right? So we need a way to actually get gear fragments. For crafting and upgrading gear, you need ingots. So trials is going to be your number one way of obtaining these sorts of materials, okay? Now, right now we have trial 1 and trial 2 set up. Actually, all the coding for everything is completely done. I have all the way up to trial 10 completely finished, but I'm just going to show you guys an example of trial 1 and trial 2. So the trials get harder the farther you go along, and the way it works is here it tells you how many attacks you get to beat the trial, okay? The recommended power for the trial and the rewards that you can expect to obtain. So if I click start on the trial here, what it's going to do is going to open you up to this panel. This is going to look much, much better. I've literally been building this for like a day. It works. That's all that matters, but it is going to look much better. So on the left-hand side, you have your player. You can see how many attacks you have left, and you can see your march cooldown. Every attack takes about 10 seconds. And then here you have the trial or the boss. So in this case, you are fighting the Goblin Chief. The Goblin Chief is going to be a boss that has pretty much troops in his castle. It acts like an NPC type of player. You need to obliterate his castle. You need to kill every single troop that is in his castle within 5 attacks. Okay? Now, this is going to change for every trial. Some trials might be 30 attacks, some might be 50, some might be 10. So they're going to range in difficulty, and they're also going to range in strength. I mean, some of these trials are going to be very, very, very hard. You need to be very strategic with the hero setups and the troops that you use. But to show you how this works, so let's go ahead and click on the castle, and now here we'll be able to attack. Any troops you lose in trial, you lose permanently. So you need to make sure that you are sending troops that you are okay killing off. So we're going to use our first hero here because he's my strongest, and I'm going to go ahead and just send 25 tier 1 troops to give you guys an example of what it looks like, and we're going to march. So as the troops are going towards the castle, you can see marching to boss down here, counts down from 10 seconds. And once that's done, we should get a report of what happened. And boom. Okay, so you can see down in our report panel, we lost 9 troops and we killed 38 of his troops. We used one of our attacks, so we have 4 attacks left. And you can also see the stats left of the boss. So the boss has 112 troops left, which is a total of 1,300 attack and 6,000 health. So let's go ahead and actually finish off the boss now to show you guys what that looks like. So we're just going to send 3,000 tier 1 troops, and that should absolutely annihilate him. And once you beat the boss, you'll essentially get a bunch of rewards. I mean, it's pretty simple. So we're going to let this hit. Boom. So we beat the boss. Here we have our rewards panel. In this case, the rewards can change. The better the trials, the better rewards you get. And the rewards are also random. They have different reward pools on what you can get. But in this case, we want a bunch of food, some wood, some stone, some gold, and some ingots. And we need those ingots for crafting, right? So yeah, I mean, this panel is going to look much better. I'm not sure if we're going to do like a random wheel. I might do a random wheel that you spin 3 times just to make things a little bit more interactive, or it's just going to be like a massive, better looking panel than this. I mean, this is just a template. It works. The functionality works. Again, just making the artwork look a bit better. But it might be a panel saying like, hey, these are the 5 rewards that you can pick. Pick 2 of these 5 rewards, etc. But yeah, you'll be able to unlock hero gear from here, hero essences, hero tomes, gear crafting, resources. I mean, pretty much everything you can think of, you'll be able to unlock it here. So this is going to be a pretty cool system. What I also want to do with this system is add the ability to do this with other players. Some of the trials are going to get very, very, very difficult, and you possibly will need help if you are not strong enough. So I will create a feature where you'll be able to send a mail invite to another player, and they'll be able to join this with you. And yeah, you guys just try to see if you can conquer the trial. Now I'll show you trial 2. It looks pretty much identical. The only difference here is obviously it's a different boss. This is the Orc Warlord, and he's much stronger. You can see his health is stronger, his attack is stronger. But yeah, I mean, that's trials in a nutshell. That's how that all works. And for the most part, that's kind of it, guys. Like, that's pretty much what we got running here. We're missing a lot of systems. We're missing alliances. We're missing looking at like having an inventory and a shop. We're obviously missing in-app purchasing. We're missing a lot of stuff on the world map. Pretty much, I have a whole lore thing on how the world map is going to work. I don't want to expose too much, but ideally there's going to be a throne in the middle of the world, and whatever, it's not a throne, it's called like a core. And whoever occupies this core, their alliance gets insane buffs. And pretty much everyone's going to battle for this all the time. I mean, you want to own that core. You want to own that throne. If you do, your alliance gets a bunch of buffs. There's going to be this corrupted world titan that spawns monthly, and pretty much whatever alliance kills that corrupted titan gets to claim the throne. There will also be smaller spires that are around the map. And smaller alliances can occupy these spires. If you own like the world core, you can't occupy the spires. So the spires will also give bonuses to the alliances that claim them. They won't be as strong, but it does give opportunity for weaker alliances that are maybe in the top 5, top 10 to be able to actually compete to still get buffs, right? And then they can work together with other alliances to try to take down the main alliance that owns the core. So yeah, a lot of fighting. It's going to be sick. It's not going to be an event. It's just going to be like all the time. Whoever gets the core, you're rocking and rolling, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun. The last thing I'll show you guys, I guess, is what it looks like if someone's attacking you. So I've actually created that panel. So we're going to go ahead and quickly send 500 troops over to this guy, and we're going to log into that account. All right, gotta do this quickly because every march is only 30 seconds, so we don't want to be too slow. And all right, so if you're under attack, in the top left here, you can see you're under attack and it has a red shader, and that'll flash for you. And here you can actually see the attack incoming your way. It shows who's attacking you, their troops, their attack, their health, pretty much all the information you need to know about the attack. The more attacks you have, the more will obviously show. And down here in incoming, it'll also show you how many attacks in total are hitting you. And as you can see, we did get attacked. So if we go to our battle reports, again, we successfully won that defense because we have, a shit ton of troops on this account. 72,000 troops versus 500. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how that looks. And I think that's it. So for the beta release, all that's really left to do, honestly, is like scouting players, fixing up some of the UI that's kind of not fully set up or looks a little bit, shitty. And yeah, other than that, I mean, the functionality's here. You guys can go and attack each other. I might release alliances by the end of the month. We'll see how much time I get. But if we don't, I mean, that'll most likely come out on the next beta update. It's not a complicated thing to do. It's just there's a lot of other stuff that I currently have to do, especially redoing a lot of artwork and making things look better. So that's kind of like higher priority. The alliances are not super important at this moment. It's more so of like a battle playground, so you can test attacking people, test different troops, different combinations, make sure a lot of the basic functionalities of the game work, and blah, 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 blah. So all right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, I will post an updated link to the Discord in the description, but for whatever reason, if you can't join it, write in the comments. I'll try my best to check this every few days, every couple weeks to make sure everyone gets in. So thank you guys very much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.